Hi guys, a Grand Prix weekend, a home race for Ferrari. What an interesting race it's going to be. It's looking very interesting to see where Ferrari are this season. Coming to their first home Grand Prix. Ferrari are having two races as a home Grand Prix this season. They'll be having the Italian Grand Prix and the Emilia Romagna. The Emilia Romagna starts the European season and the first three back-to-back races in Europe. From here, we'll be going to Monaco. From Monaco, we'll be going to Spain. And we heard that in Spain, the McLaren's lead is going to be cut short because of the front wing and the rear wing flexing that the rules are coming up. McLaren have told us that rule ain't affecting them. If the rule ain't affecting them, then what do we expect? Talking about Red Bull, in Miami, Zach Brown has proposed to the FIA president, Ben Sulayem Mohammed, that for every unfound accusations by any opponent team, especially Red Bull, there should be a penalty point. And the penalty point should be on the cost cap. That is when Ben Sulayem started thinking of cutting the cost cap out of the season. To me, I think the cost cap is not really needed. With the cost cap, it gives them a lot of teams limited amount of resources to bring better upgrades. The teams that have more money most times get better sponsorship, but as a lower team, you can find your way and get more money by getting better sponsorship if you have the good marketing department. For me, I think the cost cap should be scrapped. It takes away innovation, it takes away ingenuity, it takes away technology. Some teams have a lot of technology they want to bring in. Look at what McLaren are doing now. They could have done it 2 years back. If they had the money, they will have the money, but because of cost cap, they are able to develop into this year. They would have done it 2 years ago, and coming into this year, it might even be more. They would have learnt more, and they might have brought more upgrades. But you know what cost cap is doing is limiting the teams. The Emilia Romagna, that's the track in Imola, has been a hunting ground for Red Bull, winning 3 of the 4 races held there since 2020, and they've been the dominant team there. Last year, they almost lost to Lando Norris. Lando Norris was still joking last year, but we don't know what he's doing this year. Ferrari had always found it difficult in Imola in 2022. The two Ferraris were almost crashed out. Carlos Sainz on the first lap, Charles Leclerc, I think on lap 47 or so, he drove himself into the wall. And from second place went to ninth place, then climbed up back to 6th position, which was not good for him. Ferrari had not had the best race in Imola for quite some time. Would they be able to turn their fortunes around this season? With their fortunes being tried to turn around, how will they turn it around when they are still looking like the 5th best car? Meanwhile, we know they have a lot of potentials. I've said it from the beginning of the season that Ferrari are having one of the best potentials in their car, but how to unlock this is the major problem for them. When we talk about unlocking, we are talking about how to make the most out of their package they have. Ferrari have a good package, but the rear has always been very difficult for them. They said they are bringing new rears. Hopefully, the new rears they are bringing will work. And the flaws, they brought flaws in Bahrain, and the flaws were flawed. If Ferrari can unlock the package in Imola, it will be a great thing for them this weekend. But do they really have the package to unlock it? Yes. But can they really tap into that package and unlock? No. So let's see what they bring. Red Bull are bringing more upgrades. The one they brought in Miami, really, it brought some performance. Bringing more should make the car faster, maybe drive them to gaining total possession of the McLaren team. But if Ferrari can correct the rear of their car, I think they'll be good for the season. It's very difficult to lower the car because of the rear, and also to lower the car because of the plank, which means if they lower the car more, the rear will be up, there will be instability, the front will be hitting the planks more, and the vortex that is meant to generate underneath is not generated. So it's still a shabby for them to do. Now to Imola. Yeah, the track has been for quite some time, and that track is known as Autodromo International Enzo Dino Ferrari, as often known as Imola, and is located in that place called Imola. The track came into the season 2020 due to the COVID-19, when a lot of tracks in Europe ran 2 races, and the Imola track came on board. Lewis Hamilton winning the race, Valtteri Bottas taking the pole position. The race has been run 4 times, with Max Verstappen winning 3 whooping races out of the 4, and the 3 were back to back. The race was not run in 2023 because of the flood that happened in Imola. Imola is the home of the F1 president in the person of Stefano Domenicali, the F1 president. This race coming back in 2025 is a great one, but the Emilia Romagna that might find unuseful chance to come into the season coming up from 2026 and others, because there are 2 races. The Italian race is still more useful to them, so I think the race will find difficult to come about in the next 2 years. So how will they fare? Well, we are clamoring for race in Africa, and I'll keep saying we need a race. Yeah, guys, something is coming up in December. And for dirt bike lovers and dirt bike racers, the dirt bike race, the first one of its kind, will be coming up on the last Sunday of this month in Shagamu, Shion track, where the X-Cat runs, and it's going to be very, very interesting. You guys should not miss it. So I should chip that one in for you because you're going to love it and enjoy it. The Imola track is a 4.909 kilometers. That's about 3.050 miles. A circuit length or a race length of 309.049 kilometers. That's a 192.034 miles. It's a 3-lap race with 19 corners. Lewis Hamilton holding the lap record with a 1 minute 15 in 2020, and that was when the Mercedes car looks unbeatable. Valtteri Bottas taking the pole position, but Lewis Hamilton won the race. The track is a clockwise track with a lot of slow corners, fast corners. It's going to be very interesting coming this weekend because with teams bringing upgrades, and a lot of teams, especially top teams, are looking at bringing upgrade or package that McLaren has been using in the season, because with the thermal sensors Red Bull had on McLaren in Miami and they got nothing. They are trying to bring a similar brake package that will help them, but will they really get what McLaren have gotten? Because McLaren have been working on this thing for years and they really got it this year. So will they be able to get it? Because it may take time, and some teams might just get it better than McLaren. That will make their rear tires much more kept in a good temperature and the front tires in a very beautiful temperature, and these cars will run beautifully. So how do they make this thing work? Will these teams really bring this upgrade and to change their course of the season, or bring them closer to the McLaren this season until we get into the thick of the season? This is just race 7. We can't know what will happen, and by race 9, will there be table turning? Will we see some teams really coming up? Can see Williams really doing a spectacular job? Can Williams really push the top teams if at least there will be a change in the rule, and that rule will really affect the top teams? Will Williams be able to compete? Because Williams are looking snappy, fast, and very fierce. Will they be able to challenge the top teams? We will see a change of hands. Well, I can't tell you yes or no, but I can tell you one thing. Until we get to this European season, because a lot of teams have a point to prove, we'll be able to know if this will happen. What do we need to know about Imola again? The Friday practice will come up around 1:30 p.m. in the afternoon, Central African time. That's about 2:30 around there, and in the evening around 5 p.m. or 4 p.m. for the FP2. Then on Saturday, the FP3 and quali will be coming scheduled around 12 and around 4 p.m. The race is 2 p.m. GMT, and the tires for this race will be the softest compound in the Pirelli. That will be the C4 as the hard compound, C5 as the medium, and C6 test compound in the Pirelli tire schedule. And the medium traction grip, braking medium, because there are just some deceleration corners that are so slow, like 2 or 3 of them. Apart from that, you have long medium speed corners and some good medium lateral acceleration for the car. The tire stress is not too much, but we might be having 2 stops. It is a 63-lap race, and the asphalt abrasion is just beautiful, not so hard, but the downforce is medium, so it's not a track that requires so much downforce. So some rear wings that we've been seeing in Miami, in Saudi Arabia, are not coming to this track with a lot of front wing adjustment. Will some of these front wing adjustments be affecting some top teams, which might cause some overheating to their tires or reduce overheating to their tires? But we don't know until we get to Imola. Now on Friday, we're expecting a 90-degree temperature with the sky a little bit cloudy, no rain. But in Imola, the last 2 races in Imola were bound with rain, but we can't say yet because Imola can change anytime. On Saturday, no rain in speculation, and on Sunday, 23 degrees, no rain. But let's hope for a dry Imola race. The last few rainy Imola races had been very interesting, and you don't want to miss rain in Imola because it brings spices. You cannot expect who should win or who will win. Now, driver prediction. The McLaren are still the top of their class. Will McLaren be able to win this Imola race? Yeah, probably they look likely. In Miami, we think they won't really dominate, but they came to Miami and they told everybody, we are ahead. Will they be able to do that in Imola? They have the package to do it. Will the upgrade Ferrari and Red Bull bring be able to challenge the McLaren? Mercedes are also tipping us for a possible upgrade because they've not brought upgrade this season, but if they are bringing upgrades, that upgrades might look good. Kimi Antonelli knowing the Imola track, and some few other tracks, the Spanish track, and the team boss Toto Wolff has said if he can do that in Miami, coming to Imola, that guy is going to be fearless, and he keeps gaining momentum, gaining his confidence as the season goes by. What do you expect that boy to do in Imola? I can tell you he's going to do wonders. If he comes to Imola and takes pole position or challenges the McLaren, it's going to be bananas, because in Miami was able to challenge his teammate, but in the 2 races, the sprint and the main race, we saw that he fell behind because of simple mistakes, and this boy keeps learning. If you can bring the challenge to George Russell will start breaking, because George Russell can break easily. You can take the game to the McLaren. You can see the Mercedes have a good package also. How will that change the course of the season? Until you get to Imola, first practice in Imola, I can tell you're going to enjoy it. I love you guys. Bye. Chi.